an anthology on the bad, the short-lived, and the forgotten shows and events in television history. This is It Was a Thing on TV.
C would write poetry, believe it or not. Therefore, our continuing champions are the Hunts with 300 with how many points? I don't know.
Episode 514, Submission 474. Max Headroom, the piracy incident. Max Headroom, the piracy incident, was a series of two hackings that occurred on WGN TV and WTTW in Chicago on the night of November 22nd, 1987. At the time we're recording this, 1 week from today will be the 37th anniversary of this incident. Now, Max Headroom is, as we talked about in our previous episode, one of the most popular things in the world in 1987. He has his own TV show. He's got his own series of Coke ads. He gets parodied by Larry Bud Melman on Late Night with David Letterman. He's amazing. He's everywhere. But somebody in Chicago in November of 1987 decided, you know what? I'm going to have a little fun tonight. I'm just going to piss off everybody while watching the news here in Chicago. And I don't know why they decided to do this, because I don't know if you know this, but this is like one of the most famous like hijackings of a signal in history. And to this day, in 2024, like nobody knows who did it. They've never been caught. Nobody knows anything about why this happened. So we can only guess and assume. The first incident occurs on 9:14 p.m. on November 22nd of 1987 during WGN TV's The 9 o'clock news. Now, this is during a sports report. This mainly occurs during highlights of the Detroit Lions Chicago Bears game from earlier that day. Now, guys, I did pull up Football Reference before we started this episode. So let me just go over the game. The Bears won 30-10. And if I look over the stats real quick, some jabroni named Chuck Long was starting for the Lions. Mike, do you have any memories about this Chuck Long guy?
I've heard of him, but I don't know specifics.
4 seasons with Detroit from 86 to 89, went to the Rams in 90, and then went back to Detroit in 91. Oh, he threw 20 interceptions in 1987 and led the league in interceptions. Okay. And then, man, the Bears played all 3 quarterbacks in this game. Jim McMahon threw for 206 yards. Mike Tomczak had some action and relief, threw for 62 yards. And Jim Harbaugh had a run for like 15 yards.
No, that's a sack.
Oh, he got sacked? Oh.
He got sacked for 15 yards.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, this was Walter Payton's final season. He rushed for 60 yards in this game. You see, Willie Gault had 4 catches and 55 yards. Dennis McKinnon had a touchdown. Oh, I guess William Perry didn't have a touchdown in this game. Oh, Richard Dent had 2 sacks. Oh, Mongo McMichael had a sack. Ron Rivera had an interception, too. And Eddie Murray for the Lions. No, not the baseball player, the kicker. He had a field goal and an extra point for the Lions. That was probably like their only highlight of the game. But okay, let's play the original incident.
Sean got a good break on it. Unfortunately enough, we scored.
Then they scored again at the Lions 31. Wayne Larrivee called it like this on WGN Radio.
2-yard line, and McMahon back to throw. Dumps it up the middle. Right up to McMahon. Heading left to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown!
McMahon and McKinnon, 14-0 Bears. Then the defense, which hadn't put up a sack in 12 quarters, finally did. Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. Actually, the computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top of the Bears and tell you once again about the 30-10 victory they had over Detroit today out at Soldier Field.
Okay, now, guys, for the audio listeners, can we just describe what happened during the clip?
We have our reel of footage from the Bears game. Then, for about 17 seconds, it cuts to black. Then all of a sudden, there's this guy wearing a Max Headroom mask just shaking his head while there's like some corrugated metal in the background simulating that sort of CGI green screen thing that you would see on Max Headroom. All he's doing is bobbing his head back and forth, and I'm waiting for him to say something, but he never does.
Mike, do you have a reaction?
I am surprised WGN blamed its computer equipment on it. That obviously was not a computer issue.
No, as we'll see later.
Well, obviously it's not a computer issue, but that's a weird reaction, I think, from the anchor at WGN, but I can understand it because, you know, if you have something that unexpected happen, just throw out a reason, throw out an excuse. Nobody's going to judge you on it in terms of its veracity.
That probably would have been like the end of it. But 2 hours later, at around 11:20 p.m., the hijacker decided, well, that obviously didn't work. I'll set my sights on something else. And so for some reason, he decided to hijack the signal of WTTW. And what were they airing at around 11 o'clock? The Doctor Who serial Horror of Fang Rock. At 11:20, approximately 2 hours and 6 minutes after the WGN hijacking, this is what happened if you were in the middle of watching Horror of Fang Rock from Doctor Who on WTTW.
You should talk often with the old ones of your tribe. That is the only way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
Why, drink some dry clothing.
He's a freaking nerd. This guy thinks I'm better than chicks worse than freaking
As far as I can tell, a massive electric shock. He died instantly.
The generator? Are you always so careful?
Oh, dang, we didn't see how that guy on Doctor Who died. Oh, well.
We have the return of our guy in the mask, but he's now talking. He's doing the whole catch the wave, but with a Pepsi can for reasons.
He couldn't find a new Coke can anywhere at the supermarket, so he had to settle for a Pepsi can.
And he stated, after he was humming Your love is fading. He said, I made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds, because, WGN, world's greatest newspaper. Then he held up this glove and says, my brother's wearing the other one. Put the glove on, but it's dirty. It's like you got blood stains on it. Then he threw it down.
And then the most disturbing part of this is he had a woman, I'm guessing, with a fly swatter, and she swatted his ass while his pants were down. So this is my guess, okay? I'm guessing because the WGN hacking failed, he just put this onto like another station, because it doesn't reference the PBS station at all. Because it references Chuck Swirsky, who was the WGN sports anchor at the time. Which, ironically, Chuck Swirsky was not even in that spot at 9:14 or whatever.
They're basically going with whatever they could go for at that moment in time. Hence the Pepsi can with the Coca-Cola slogan.
Well, I wonder if the WGN attempt was just to see how it would work. Would it be successful? And then the PBS station, the WTTW break-in, was the actual end result. So basically, you had like your rough draft, see if everything works on WGN, and then let's do this on WTTW for good, since we know it works, but also let's do it on a different station because we've already raised the ire of the people at WGN.
I could buy that. So what I'm going to play next is from the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather from the following day on November 23rd, 1987 at around 5:50 p.m.
Are there no longer any guarantees in life? That question might be asked today by television viewers in the Chicago area. Frank Courier reports on what they expected to watch last night and the moon over Chicago they actually saw.
Broadcast engineers at 2 Chicago television stations and thousands of viewers are still puzzled today.
The hunt is on this afternoon for Chicago's video pirate.
Late last night, as followers of the British TV fantasy series Doctor Who watched an episode entitled Horror of Fang Rock, they were startled by this. A video pirate wearing a Max Headroom mask and uttering garbled remarks flailed in front of the screen for 90 seconds. The intruder, undressed below the waist, was then spanked before the screen went blank.
There was some minor nudity involved in it, which I think was also upsetting to some viewers.
I got so upset that I wanted to bust the TV set. I really did.
The pirate also overpowered the signal at WGN TV during Bear football highlights on the evening sportscast.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I.
Chicago TV stations transmit from atop 2 of the world's tallest buildings. Engineers say the prankster employed sophisticated microwave equipment to override the signals beamed from the station's studios to the main antennas.
It takes a significant amount of power levels to achieve this kind of an interference.
FCC engineers hope to catch and prosecute the pirate the way they did a year and a half ago when a video bandit calling himself Captain Midnight interrupted an HBO satellite movie transmission from Long Island.
There's a maximum penalty of $100,000, 1 year in jail, or both, depending on whether this thing continues or not.
In a defense strategy, broadcasters here are employing new backup studio transmitter links, determined that this first-ever intrusion on Chicago TV screens will also be the last. Frank Courier, CBS News, Chicago.
Did you hear what Dan said about the moon over Chicago that night?
He's not wrong.
No. Now, to get a local perspective from this, here's a report of the Max Headroom incident from WBBM Channel 2, the CBS affiliate out of Chicago. And introducing the report is the legendary newsman himself, Bill Curtis.
Another one is on tonight, this one for the video pirates, who managed to scramble Chicago airwaves. The pirates interrupted WGN and WTTW programming with a show of their own. Our Mike Kirsch has more.
Channel 11's Doctor Who was unexpectedly knocked off the TV screen last night by a broadcast pirate disguised as Max Headroom. The wacky and at times perverse TV surprise came shortly after 11 o'clock, lasting about a minute and a half. The same thing happened at WGN's 9 o'clock news broadcast earlier in the evening.
Someone wants to get into your house, they can find a way to do that. And I guess likewise, if someone wants to interfere with your signal, they can find a way to do that.
The FCC says the pirates were able to use stronger microwave signals to override the television signals which are transmitted from the Hancock and Sears towers.
Like to inform anybody involved in this kind of thing that there's a maximum penalty of $100,000, 1 year in jail, or both.
The broadcast pirate who broke into HBO programming about a year and a half ago and threatened HBO with this message was caught by the FCC and fined $5,000 and was put on 1 year probation. The FCC says the wise guys who pulled off this latest stunt are in very big trouble. Mike Kirsch, the 10 o'clock news.
The FCC says or warns that should the pirates try it again, it will only make it easier for the FCC to track them down.
I should note that WMAQ, the NBC affiliate out of Chicago, did a parody of the Max Headroom incident right after it happened, using brief little clips from the Max Headroom incident in the middle of one of their sports reports. Now, obviously, I can't play the audio because it doesn't work with just the audio. You need the video to accompany it. So in the description on Podbean, I'm going to include the video from WMAQ making fun of the Max Headroom incident. So if you want to watch it for yourself after you listen to the episode, you can do that. So go to itwasathingontv.com and check that out in the description on Podbean. According to Truth by Consensus Wikipedia, now I said nobody has since, as of 2024, claimed any responsibility for the stunt. But the speculation about the identity of who Max and his co-conspirators centers on that it was either like a disgruntled employee or an ex-employee of WGN.
Because that would make sense.
Yes.
Well, it would definitely have to be somebody who has some knowledge of the television industry if they could somehow use a satellite to overpower the WGN signal and the WTTW signal. This wasn't just some kid in a basement.
Because the 5-year statute of limitations was surpassed in 1992, the people that are responsible for this would no longer face any possible jail time. But I believe if they were found out, they'd have to pay like a fine of up to $100,000. 37 years coming up soon, and yeah. This has got to be like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen ever in the history of television. And it still remains a mystery because nobody has figured out who did this.
Seriously, for all we know, that person or those people could be long gone. I mean, 37 years is a long time, and even if they were, let's say, 35 years old at the time, they'd be in their mid-70s at this point.
Well, in November of 1987, the moon was shining bright in Chicago on quote-unquote Max when he made this legendary thing on TV. By the way, I would also recommend going to the Oddity Archive on YouTube. Ben's very first episode of the Oddity Archive, all the way back over a decade ago, was about this very topic in the Max Headroom incident. So I would highly suggest you listen to that when you're done with the episode. All right, Mike, now let's get to the plugs.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time. Hey guys, take a look at your calendar. Next week is the 4th week of November. What do we usually do the 4th week of November every year? Not as a society, but what do we do? What have we done the last 5 years during the end of November? We celebrate a certain holiday. that coincidentally is coming up next week. And we've done some different things over the years where we focused on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we did another parade. I mean, we've talked about that parade that was in Philadelphia and Detroit, and actually this entire week has given us legends. We've had Superman who refused to come out from behind the building. The Detroit parade, I believe, gave us Clifford the Big Inbred Dog. So what legends are going to come out this week? As we've done in the past, we've gone 1 year in the future. We started at 1983, then 84, 85, 86, 87, and this year's going to be 88. But just in the last year or so, we started going back. So we went from 83 to 82, and now we're going to go to 81. So we're going to cover the Thanksgiving Day parades in 1981 and 1988 next week in our annual tribute to Thanksgiving right here at It Was a Thing on TV. Thank you, as always, for listening, and we'll catch you on Monday with the first parade.
Wow!
My first guest has been called TV's hottest personality who is not a person. He is a new spokesman for Coca-Cola. He is also the host of his own television program on Cinemax, and he's one of the most popular television personalities in England. Let me just push this deal on here. Push it on right here. We're making he's making his American network television debut, folks. Please say hello to Max Headroom, if this is working. There's Max right there. Max, first of all, welcome to the United States. Welcome to our program. And why don't you, Max? Max, excuse me, if you could, Max. Yeah. I tell you what, Max, could you describe yourself for us? Just tell the folks a little bit about what you are, what you do.
A little sticky. I think I had a soggy dream, big fella. There's oil everywhere.
So,
big fella.
Yeah.
I suppose I see myself as witty.
Witty?
Urbane.
Yeah.
Highly talented. Talented. Hugely successful with a keen sense of style. Plus, of course, my own special brand of modesty. What? Help, I'm cramped!
you say you're cramped. Okay. Why don't you, somebody's playing with your tie out here, Max. Why don't you tell us about how you look and how you dress there? Is there something interesting we ought to know about your look, your appearance?
Big fella, you've touched a sore terminal there, Davy Doo.
Uh-huh.
Clothes! Well, for me, it's the old bell-bottom golf slacks and tasteful bright chicks! Like those in the book on your last show last night.
Uh-huh.
But I prefer them in 100% nylon. I like a lot of static around my lower parts, Davy Doo.
Yeah.
I like the exciting feeling that if you cross your legs too quickly, you might just fuse all the lights.
Uh-huh. And what can you tell us about your name, Max Headroom? Does that mean anything other than just a name?
A daffodil by any other name, I think Oscar Wilde said, wasn't it? Can I tell you a story, Dave?
Yes.
Let's talk. You see, Dave, I was driving along in my swagger limo before Grace got her little paws on it. In fact, it's been specially adapted, poor little old moi, with reverse tinted windows. And that means I cannot see my public, but they can see me. I do so hate seeing ordinary people getting wet in the rain. Anyway, I was driving along one day and suddenly one of my fans shouted, "Hey, there's Max Headroom," and it kind of stuck.
And
caress me with your applause.
It kind of stuck, is what you're saying then. Yeah. And this may be a sensitive area, but it seems to me that you have kind of a slight speech. You have an interesting speech pattern there. kind of a stutter, I guess.
Touching on areas. Why don't you ever stand up? Is it because you caught a vital organ in the top drawer? Stutter! Isn't that a rather harsh way, Davy Doo, to describe a slight verbal hesitancy? I mean, come on, big fellow. We all have our hereditary idiosyncrasies, and mine's been able to say long words without stuttering. And as for holding me back is concerned, well, I'm sitting here now, aren't I? What do you think?
Yeah. You're doing a darn fine job of it.
Lassie, come home! I want to have your puppies! I love her little you, Dave.
I tell you what, why don't you tell the folks about your new American television show, Max?
Must we?
Well, yeah, why don't you just...
Okay, what the heck. My new show has everything, Davy Doo. It's got your quizzes. It's got your songs. It's got your videos. It's got your clam sauce. It's got your advice spots. It's got your big celebrity interviews with... Well, I'm not a name dropper, but Michael Caine, mate. But best of all, it's got little old swagger. Me. And I do off-the-cuff comedy. I do links. Basically, I do a lot of cufflinks. Comedy, I can't keep it in! That's great! It oozes out of every computer-generated pore! Stop the flood.
Yeah. Can I ask you one other question? Do you have a...
Sure, I'll go out on a date with you.
Do you have a... You don't happen to have a plate in your head, do you?
I got a full set of china.
All right, now, Max, I understand that one of your other loves is music, and am I correct in assuming you've prepared a little song for us tonight?
Ooh, who's been digging around the garden of gossip and coming up with a couple of weeds? I wish I just had some of the music and videos from my show so I could play them to you right here, and if it was in my hands, I would, but I haven't got them. Hands, that is. Stop me down! Stop me, buddy! Stop me down! Actually, I'm a swagger, classical man myself. Mozart, he's my tip for the top. But, there's not one bar of Mozart that I can't whistle. Maybe there is. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's the one. But in the biz, Dave, our biz, I'm seen as a musicione.
Okay, so now do we have... Does all this mean we have a little song coming or not, Max? Yeah. Okay.
Losing a PA on the floor.
We can't hear you out here, Max. Try it again.
Shave?
There you go.
You there?
Yeah, Max, I got you now.
Okay. Give me a flat F. Shave?
Yeah, Max.
Not yet.
Ah.
Shave?
Yeah.
No. It's been a great show. We're sorry that it's through. Goodbye is such a sad word. So let's just say adieu. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Max Headroom. Thank you, Max. We appreciate your stopping by.